We are live. Hello.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Knights Ordained here on the Tataz Gaming channel. I'm Floof, I'm going to be running this game today. I'm joined by Kayla, Ian,
Sup?
and Crystal, who's being a butt and isn't on camera yet.
Hey, I'm trying.
We are in my wonderful homemade world, and the Quad Squad will represent. They have just killed a large evil hag that was attempting to murder them back, and they have now rested in its chamber after finding a couple of interesting items and artifacts.
Yeah, Nora, rest.
No.
Nora,
I see
rest.
your hit points.
Nor rest.
Just
Does anybody have
I see.
a journal from last session? Nope.
What? Hey,
You got a
what?
journal?
Bold of you to just assume.
I was
Uh,
answering for me, thank you.
Hold on, I must rest. There we go.
Can you find it? That is the question.
Oh, please. I don't write anymore. I improv.
Oh.
Improv everything, including my life. um. No, I don't.
I did, because like my character, I'm an overachiever.
Well, I might, but I need someone to go first. Well, I think.
Okay, I'll go first. Huh. I haven't read this since I wrote it, so let's hope it's not too bad.
See if you can remember it all.
Mm-hmm. My siblings made easy work of the hag. I was surprised by their effectiveness. Is it wrong for me wanting the hag to have lasted longer? I just wanted to see what else she could do. She appeared to have regenerative properties, because, I'm smarter than when I can speak. Let's not forget about the strength of those arms. Honora won't admit it, but that was a close one. I guess I am happy she perished quickly. I just wish there was a body to study. The rune was a good substitute. It shares the architect and the glyphs of the previous runes. I bet the southern ruins are the same as well. Antonia got a weird vision when he laid on the slab. Seriously, I don't know why everyone thinks I'm the reckless one. I never once thought of laying on the bloodstained slab feeding into an endless pit. Though after his recounting, I won't lie, it's tempting. There are many mysteries in the swamp, this weird religion, Sylvania and her sisters. There's so much to uncover. Normally, I'd petition to stay in the swamp as long as our supplies could last. But all I want to do is get out of here as quickly as possible.
I like
Yeah.
it very much. Take that point of inspiration.
Yee.
Save it up for when you guys want to, one hit kill another fucking hag. Spam inspiration for it. Okay, so it is the morning after. You guys have awoken
Oh, kitty!
in. Yes.
I looked over
kitties.
and Ian was a cat.
I polymorphed into a cat.
But you're playing a fighter in this game, not a druid.
Meow.
Dare you break?
I said
Meow.
polymorph, not wild shape.
Oh, sorry.
I'm actually a wizard.
I see.
Buff wizard.
Kitty.
Buff wizard.
Muscle wizards cast fist. So you guys all wake up in the temple. Alira, please mark down another night. Another day has passed.
12 and a half hours, or 12 and a half days, thank you.
Yep. So you guys have woken in the temple. What would you like to do? So the ziggurat.
Sorry, I marked the full day at the end of the day.
That's understandable.
So
Yeah.
I have 1 day marked off. And at the end of this day, I'll mark 2 days off.
Okay. So yeah, as I say, you guys wake up Inzirat, what are you doing? Are you staying here longer? Are you blitzkrieging it back straight to Citadel Ironwood? Are you stopping off on the way back to see
No, can't
Sylvania
come
and
back.
his
Crash got bored and left. So now you just get me.
My character makes it known that she thinks we should stop at Sylvania's.
Well, yes, of course. We have to see if it worked. If her sisters are back to normal.
Okay. So, you head out from. Sorry, hang on. Does everybody agree? Antony says, yeah, Rivers is just following along. Honora, do you
Mhm.
agree going back to Sylvania's?
I'm good with just powering right through.
Okay.
What do you mean power right through? Like to Sylvania's or past Sylvania's?
To Sylvania's.
Okay.
Let her know that we got the job done. And then, as quickly as possible, bolt it to the back to the village.
Okay.
Collect our payment and then leave.
Oh yeah, we should remember to collect payment.
So you
Character
guys.
does mage armor, by the way, right before we
Okay.
leave.
Okay. Mage armor is up. Good to know. So you
Uh-huh.
guys are here at the Purple Temple ruins. You know that Sylvania's is about 2 days march away.
Mm-hmm.
As you guys head off and march, is there anything you would like to do during these 2 days to Sylvania's?
Just filling in
Isn't
my
it
map, double
3?
checking my stuff, and that's just about it. Well, we took a detour, kind of, if you remember.
Yeah, because
Like,
it was a day to here,
we went
and it was a
here,
day
and
to
then
here, and then it was
but we could go straight if we wanted to instead.
okay. I'm not arguing.
Because that was really what it was. This added like what, a couple extra hours or something like that.
You don't want to go here?
Yeah.
I do. My character does,
Mhm.
but she also just wants to get her sister fixed, or else we would have gone there. Hopefully, if everyone would have been okay with it.
It's only 80 feet, guys.
But
Hang on, I can
my
fix
sister
that.
had to go
2
get
days
cursed.
journey.
I have figured out my response to that when I'm uncursed. If I get uncursed.
If.
So, what's your backup?
I'm not. No. No.
Stop doing that. Don't do that.
Although I was informed that Floof, you allow Mystic.
I do. But not multiclassing into it. Nah, I'm joking. If you want to play Mystic, go ahead and play Mystic.
that's fine.
But know that I will counter Mystics
Mm-hmm.
as I know how to play Mystics as well.
Just let us know how many D100s to roll.
Okay, if you guys are roll me 2 D100s to represent the first and second day. Okay. 88. Somebody else on the other one?
I gotta give me 1 second.
There's a nice little drop down for it now.
49. Okay. Counter tables and counter table.
Also, thank you, Black Knight 3030, for following us on Twitch.
Yay!
Hey.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
I'm still trying to find us some like royalty-free playlists for D&D. I'm not having a whole lot of luck. So we can actually have music for the streamers instead of just for ourselves.
That would be a good one.
I think Dean had, what did he have for Storm King's Thunder? Swordcross Soundscapes?
It's like something.
We can figure it out another time.
Yeah. Well,
Nope, sorry, we gotta stop the stream.
Nope, sorry guys, that's it. Done for the day. Bye.
Sorry, guys, gotta figure out music. Goodbye.
No, please don't leave. We're joking. No. Yeah. So as you're heading back on the first day, you hit another patch of what appears to be that magic road, or the conjured road that you previously saw on your way.
The return of the conjured road.
My character definitely marks it on the map that she's been working on this entire time.
And you see it is here,
Mm-hmm.
and then coming close to the end of the day, as you are sort of hitting the halfway part, you see another longer patch again. I should show you all now. And on this longer patch, you actually see what appears to be some sort of large bundle of rags. And about 5 feet past that, a large collection of blue mushrooms that seem to spread from a point. And there seems to be a strange formation of them that head off towards some trees in the nearby area.
I make sure that Antonio doesn't go for them.
Antonio seems to be very introspective at the moment, back in his own mind,
Cool.
and seems to be considering things. So he's
Cool,
not
cool,
planning
cool.
on doing it.
My character just takes a good, long, keen mind look at it.
I will remember this.
No, really. I will literally remember this for the next 30 days, at least.
At least. Okay. Are you guys going to circumvent this, ignore it, and keep going until you find somewhere to camp?
What time of day is it?
6:24.
I'll use my free detect magic just to see if, like, the rags or the mushrooms, just emanate any type of magic.
The mushrooms are giving off a very faint hint of enchantment magic. Very
Mhm.
faint.
Same as the road, or does it look? I don't know if you can tell, like magic or anything like that.
You can't tell. It's no. The road was in conjuration magic. Remember?
Yeah. Okay, yeah.
So yeah, it's different school entirely.
Yeah. But the rags don't have any type of magical thing on them.
There's a couple of small sparks of the same type actually.
That's giving off some type of magical aura around it, guys. We can just circle around it if you want, or we can check it out.
I'm good
He
with just
says
going
to-
around it. We're on a bit of a time limit.
It is why I did not run straight for it to begin with.
I mean, last time we ran straight for something, it was a big tree thing.
And that was an interesting discovery.
Someone almost died in that.
No one didn't. He didn't almost die. He had plenty of help.
Nobody nearly died. What are you talking about?
If anyone almost died, it was probably
You again.
Mhm.
Yeah, but you're always dying.
Just
Oh,
dramatic
get a
like
new
that.
trick.
Listen, as long as you
Right.
don't just like die straight out, you're fine. I can heal you from a distance.
It is very likely that I will die straight out.
I can spare you from dying.
Now my character just she just looks at it really hard and thinks better of it because we got shit we need to do.
Okay, so you guys keep heading off, circumventing
like-
around the mushrooms. Go ahead.
A little note. She does just make a little note, like kind of like an asterisk on the map, and then she like writes in her little journal area that's kind of like her key of the map. That something was interesting here, if for whatever reason, if they do come back, so she can remember.
Okay, good to know. Good to know. Yeah, you head off a little bit further, and after a while, you reach the end of this section of road. As you can see, it's like a kilometer-long section.
That was the wrong button. Please ignore me.
You reach the end, and it's at this point coming up, pushing 7:30. The sun is not set, but is getting towards that.
Where are we?
At the end of this bit of road.
Do I feel like that we could make it? If like, is it like an hour away from that place that we camped last?
I reckon if you pushed hard, you might do it in 2 hours, as you'd be going off of the road itself and onto swampy terrain.
Yeah.
So you'd
Push
be
it?
going through difficult. Yes.
I said we could push it.
Does this area seem like as clear as that area, or like would this be a good area to rest at? Do we think?
The road. See, the road itself is like, apart from the very ends, seems to be in very good order. There's no damage. It looks like a perfectly maintained road up until it doesn't. Essentially, it's about 10 foot across. You could make a campsite on it if you're okay with sleeping on stone and
A
cobbles.
magical road. If we push it, we can make it in 2 hours. It doesn't matter to me. We can rest at this unknown magical road, or we can push on.
I guess we'll push on then. If nobody feels like they need to rest.
Okay.
Well, we're just pushing on for 2 hours. It should be like we'll still be able to get a long rest, right?
Yeah, you will still be able to get a good long rest. Okay, as you start pushing your way on, I need a survival check from whoever is leading the party.
Hit me.
With advantage because of the maps.
Yeah. That's what I like to hear.
So an 18. You've generally managed to avoid or outmaneuver the various dangers of the swampy terrain you are in, and arrive to the campsite you stayed at previously. A fairly decently sized mound that rises somewhat from the swamp, which has kept the ground from becoming unusable. And you manage, with your carpenter's tools, I assume, to create a lean-to for everybody to stay in for the night. You guys settle down for your camp, and I need to know what order the shifts for watch are going to be in.
The usual order?
So
My character's going to try and bring
I'm
back
going
her cat
last.
again.
I'd just say that again. You're going to try and what again?
Bring back her cat. See if
Okay.
he wants to come back or not. Been a
Once
day.
again, you sit down, you carve out the ritual, you mark out and carve the runes, and you start burning the incense.
I
The
don't-
incense gets about halfway down the stick
Just
before the
whoop.
flame sputters, and then it goes straight back up to being unburnt.
I feel like Maddox doesn't want to be conjured in this swamp.
Well, I don't want to be alone, so thanks, Maddox.
You're
And
not alone. You have us.
she says in her mind,
No.
she does not show weakness.
Sure.
Apart from maybe a little bit of a quivering lip if anybody was watching at that exact moment.
Yes, exactly. Maybe a little huff of frustration.
Okay.
I'll take first watch by myself.
Okay. First watch Adya, second watch Honora,
It's usually last watch Nora.
last watch Honora.
No,
Okay.
usually I have last watch because I'm always the first up.
What?
We
Well, someone's
used to
got to
do
cook
it in,
breakfast.
No,
used to
yeah,
do it-
Nora's the last watch because she cooks breakfast.
we did it in pairs because I would do it with Maddox. What's his face would do it with what's his
An-
face?
And I would
Anthony,
do it with Anthony.
Anthony, and
Antonia and yeah, that dude.
Rivers.
No,
And then
it was
Honora.
Alira and Antony.
No, because it was
Rivers
Rivers
and
because
Honora.
Antony was trying to annoy him.
Yeah, Honora climbed a tree with Rivers.
Yeah, that's true, actually. Yeah, that is true.
That did happen.
Sorry, I have a keen mind.
Okay. But it's been more than 30 days. How can you remember?
Twitch stream, man. I mean,
I think you just
I've
cook
always
it at
had.
the end of your shift because that's
Yeah.
like 4 o'clock in the morning. Whenever
I've always done the last watch because I'm always like Alira's always up early. Morning prayers and all. We can switch it up. It's fine.
my character just has a hard time sleeping, that's why she's always first. Stuff to think about. Stuff right.
Oh, it's Groovy. I thought it was Gibby for a moment, then I saw a G and I'm like, Gibby?
I know. I kind of got happy.
Damn it, Ian.
Is
Damn
this,
it all.
Is this safe?
Yes,
Okay.
You sure?
it's literally just nature noises right now.
Can't copyright nature, bitch.
These capitalists
Don't-
they might try.
Don't
tempt
say
them.
that. They'll
tempt
find a
them.
way.
So like, this,
I won't
this
hesitate,
particular-
bitch.
I
particular
won't
nature
hesitate,
noises-
Yes. Okay. So, Adia, roll me a perception check for your shift, please. As you are first. Okay. So your human eyes aren't very good in the night. You settle down, and with the distractions of Maddox's rejections of you,
Sure, rub it in
Over
her face.
the guilt eating at me about my sister.
yeah,
So when you
everything just piling up on you all at once just takes your mind away from where you are, and you almost sit and you end up with your knees curled into your chest and your arms wrapped around, and you just go almost entirely internal in your thoughts. Very barely at all keeping any watch except for looking at the flames.
Yeah, and whenever
Oh.
everyone's for sure asleep, she kind of like cries a little.
Can understand that. I can understand that. But your shift does come to an end, and nobody has been stabbed in their sleep yet. So
Yeah.
you may wake up the next pairing, which is Anora and River.
Rivers and Antony.
Yeah, let's do River. Rivers and Antony get a turn. Really transfer River's sheet into this game instead of just having it written down. Antony's more perceptive. And then let's go Rivers. $19, okay. Antony and Rivers. Antony thinks for a bit about doing some kind of prank on Rivers again, or in other ways attempting to inconvenience him. But even as he starts moving from his side of the camp towards Rivers, Rivers just sort of turns and stares at him. To which Antony kind of turns around and goes back to patrolling the area he was in. They don't seem to encounter anything during their shift. So the final shift is woken. Nora and Alira. The pair of you awake. Alira eyes are so still glued with seepy dust she can't see anything.
I'm staring at something and it
And
ate the
Nora has
world.
literally gone blind.
Oh shit! I'm busy staring at a brass skull.
Okay, so
Nah. We'll spend an inspiration and we'll just skip
Really?
that one too.
okay. Oh, I had
It's
something.
not gonna matter, but I don't care.
I had something for that. Oh,
Well, too fucking bad. What do my amazing eyes see?
So Alira, you wake up, you look around. It's dark. You're not really so interested. You know Nora's got this. You're praying.
Oh, shit, yeah, praying. Yeah. Totally wasn't doing anything else.
I'm cooking breakfast.
And Nora is cooking breakfast. You notice that Alira, even though she is sitting over to the side and she's in a position where she's meant to be watching, all of that direction, she seems far more intent in whatever she's holding in her hands. And you hear a few mutterings and words being spoken here and there.
Honestly, like, breakfast for the most part in these swamps is basically just taking the meat out of the rations and rehydrating them.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, you are doing that while Alira is entertaining herself with her wonderful, wonderful, precious. Hi, precious. You actually look, and as she's sitting there, you notice a bit of red. Long streak of red sort of slowly floats down and off. As a couple of strands of hair drift away. That's how keen your eyes are at this point.
A couple of hairs off of Alira's head.
Yes.
Mother
Not a
bitch.
noticeable amount. Alira probably doesn't even notice, but you notice, small amount just drift softly away.
Alira.
That's hard to do because my hair is in a bun. What?
Alira.
Oh,
What?
yeah.
Have you been taking care of your hair recently?
Are you criticizing my hygiene skills?
I just saw a few of your hair fall away.
You know our hair naturally sheds, right? I might not have brushed it in a couple days because, swamp, lack of shower, bath.
Yeah, that's the reason why. Adia says in her sleep.
Something completely unrelated in her dreams, but
I
just
will die on this denial train. Literally.
You really?
You actually will.
Excellent.
Alira,
Okay.
are you alright?
I'm fine.
Hold on.
Insight.
What the heck was that?
I press X to doubt.
Wow.
You fucking what?
I just made the Cole Phelps doubt face.
You did! Why does everyone keep asking me if I'm alright? I'm fine.
I mean, there's just been a lot of tension recently. And, everyone seems to just be upset with each other.
Well, it's not often that we go out on missions like this since the years of training.
Well, we are now. And I don't know, we need to work as a team. And teams don't operate well when everybody's angry at each other and refusing to talk about their feelings with each other and work out their problems or differences. And I know I don't say a whole lot, but I notice things. So I guess I'll just ask again. Are you all right?
I'm fine. I don't know what you want me to say.
Insight checker. Insight checker.
If you would like to know more of your sister, yes, insight.
I have proficiency.
Okay, Honora, what is your... sorry, Alira, what is your passive deception? Or passive persuasion? Whichever you're trying to do.
10.
10. Okay.
Yeah.
Are
Yeah.
you attempting to persuade him that you're okay or deceive him that you're okay?
It depends on if your character is actually fine or not.
Yes. Does your character actually think she is fine or not, essentially?
Or does she just not want to talk?
It's complicated because it's like grander scheme of things. She thinks she's fine, but she knows what you're trying to hint at with her problems with Adia, and she's just saying I'm fine to let you just, leave it alone.
Okay.
She lying.
Yeah. Honora, you get a sense that your sister... that there is something on her mind, that she understands where you're coming from, but she ain't talking. She doesn't want to talk about it to you specifically, or to anybody. Not at that time, anyway.
Unless you get real specific about things.
Honora probably isn't gonna get more specific. She'll just she notices what she notices, but if you're not gonna talk, then she's not gonna press it because she knows how you are and knows that that's just the equivalent of banging your head against the wall.
You
And
probably
she's got
get a sense that talking about working as a team, she might have been annoyed at that comment because she thinks she is. But, what does she know? She's been secluded for so long, right?
Main people she has interacted with for the last 10 years have been the recently bereaved and corpses
And an asshole.
and an asshole.
Mhm.
Not really good for healthily building your social skills.
All right, I'll be right back. I need help with groceries.
Okay, so with that, as Honora steps away, the watch comes to an end and nothing else of interest happens for the night. The sun breaks the horizon and its rays hit down, and it seems a warmer, sunnier day than it has been for the past week or two that you have been in the swamps. Fresh mildew is on the plants in the area around you, and you do start hearing
Mildew?
not mildew, dew, just
I was like,
morning dew. That's it, morning dew. But, you do start hearing a greater amount of natural sounds in the forest than previous. There seems to be more birds in the air. You even notice a few small mammalian creatures scavenging through some bushes
is this
before running off
just
once they noticed you.
is this just a normal daytime activity, or is this more than we've been seeing?
This is yeah, as I described, it's a great deal more than you've been seeing.
Oh,
The witch is dead. The witch is dead. The
perhaps
birds are happy.
perhaps the hag was having a more profound effect on the lands than just killing people.
Adya, as you wake up and you roll over in your realm, sleeping mat, and look over to the side, you open your eyes and you see this small little bud appear in the ground, which bursts upwards, and slowly rising and growing and forming, a flower appears in white and purples and reds, all intertwined in a delicate pattern swirling through the flower. And it pops out and spreads to face the sun, and then turns to face you and sits there. It's not
Nani?
like huge. It's not like huge. It's only about the size of your hand. Not even that.
I'm not really proficient in nature, but can I
Insight
see it?
check the flower.
Do I don't know, maybe a nature roll or something to see hey, what is this? Is this weird? Is this normal? Or
Yeah,
Arcana if it's magical. I don't know.
you can roll a nature check first to see if you feel like your character would know if this is natural or not.
I mean, I feel like it's not natural. I mean, that was very unnatural.
Yeah, this ain't no plants grow like that often, and none of them ever get directed so much towards someone. You can roll
Whenever.
Arcana if you want.
Okay.
This was obviously done at the behest of some kind of spell.
I mean, I probably can't tell, but do I get a feel of like, benevolent?
Insight check.
Really? 'Cause I'm
Insight
not.
check the flower. Go for it. Insight check the flower. You know, it's a flower, man. It looks really pretty. It looks really, really pretty. Like, and I mean, it's a flower. It's a nice sunny day. There's lots of animals around. It
Would
could
she
possibly
have
harm.
encountered this type of flower before?
No.
uh,
No,
I
and
kind of.
before it does not in any way recognize or resemble the previous hostile plants you have dealt with.
She'll reach for it and kind of do, I guess, an identify on it, maybe. Like she'll ritually cast identify, and she has
So
to touch it to
you
do it,
touch
right?
it. Yeah, you touch it, and it doesn't seem to do anything. There's no thorns or anything of that nature. You lay your hand on it, and for the next 11 minutes, hold a flower.
Yeah, I'm
It
like
comes
stroking
out.
it, checking it out, smelling it.
Smells as good as it looks. It
Ooh,
is a delightful scent that gently wafts and just tickles the nostrils, not overpowering in its strength.
this would be a good perfume.
It identifies, it comes back strange. It's no natural forming plant. This is definitely a magical creation based on nature. But there doesn't seem to be any effects or anything to the plant itself.
She kind of wants to take it, but she kind of wants to leave it because it's pretty, and she doesn't want to, It just appeared. Is it the only one in the area?
Yeah, it appears. Roll me perception while you're going through this 11 minutes. Actually, you should look around.
Rolled a 4. Damn it, Floof! You won't let
No,
me have my
as you're
cat.
as you're sitting there and you're touching the flower, even if you start moving slowly, you see that the flower is following your movements, turning to face you as you move. So the main part of the flower is always directed almost towards you.
You doing like yoga or something?
I just don't know if it'd be offensive to pick the flower or not. I want to pick the flower. Adia says out loud.
What flower?
The one that I've been fondling for the past 10 minutes.
Oh, I thought you were following something else.
There's a register for the people like you.
What?
That was. I said there's a register for people like you going around fondling flowers.
I mean,
Sure.
flower's a flower, so if you want it, pick it. I don't know.
it's magical, but there's no clear cut. It's more natural magic, primal magic. There's not a definition for it, and I want to pick it, but I don't want to
Weird
upset.
ask, but have you tried talking to it?
Sorry, I've been touching you for the last 10 minutes. My name's Adia. How are you today?
Oh, that's totally fine. It's totally fine. You've been
It doesn't. Don't tell me that was real.
It doesn't talk back.
Okay.
It does. You can't tell if it's the wind or the plant, but it sort of seems to do this kind of motion.
You're the one person I can't see.
For fuck's sake, you're the one person I can't see.
I can see
It
both
sort
of
of does an
you.
almost nodding motion.
And now we all play the reconnect dance, where we all press reconnect and see. Oh, I can see you now.
Oh,
I'm not doing it because then I'm not going to be able to see you two. Just going off a hunch. Would it be okay if I picked you, or would you rather be left alone?
Again, you can't tell if it's the wind because the breeze does pick up, but it seems to be making a nodding motion again.
I picked the flower, and I hope that wasn't just wind.
You now have a beautiful flower in your inventory.
Great. I wear it on my ear.
Okay. So, with that little encounter out the way, breakfast is finished. You
Yes.
eat your Honora's offerings of her spice. Oh, Krista, I can see you. You eat Honora's breakfast offerings, which are, of course, good because it's Honora and she has cooking spices from a troll.
I am down to 12 days.
12 days. And you set out straight for Savannah's house, I assume.
Yes.
Okay.
Ooh, Ashum.
She and
Roll. Go ahead.
no. Go ahead.
I was going to say, roll me 2 more D100s for the entire day. Hmm.
55 and a 38.
Okay, that is page 22.
Griffey's playing with that one bird that just won't shut up. That's like squeaky.
You don't notice anything on the entire trip. You actually manage to skillfully avoid or otherwise get lucky and don't encounter anything on your journey back to Savannah's house.
Sweet.
Does the flower keep its vivid, vibrant
It,
brightness and?
it does indeed for the entire time. It is vivid and bright, and when you arrive back at Savannah's house, it is still solidly in your ear, except for this little furry person isn't here.
Hmm.
Is that my cat?
Maybe.
Oh, I still see him though. Why does it say 13? It should only say 15. That's weird. Is that an old token?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's
these
probably
might be old tokens.
The tokens from.
Let's drag yourselves on again.
I mean, mine was fine. Kidding.
We've killed
Prepared.
one.
You got all those extra spell points, so why not?
Oh yeah, I would have put my extra spell points up to full over the last 2 nights.
So now you have 27 spell points?
Yeah.
God, if I could have that many.
Give it 2 levels and you will. Because next level you hit 3rd level spells, which were like
No,
5 points each.
I have 10 for my skull.
Yeah, so you guys arrive. There is another small fire going, the fire pit outside of the house. Doesn't seem to be much activity going around here.
I go up and knock on the door.
Okay, Lyra's going straight up to the door. Anybody going with? Standing behind her? Stopping her?
I was gonna go as well, but I was also gonna just check the water as I approach and stuff like that.
Right, yeah, I'm looking around. I'm not just going.
Okay, if both of you
Specifically,
roll. Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
I just think I remember them sleeping near the tree, so that's my main area to look.
Yes, you do remember that one of them was slept around the tree when you got there. You get closer, and both of you roll me perception checks. Okay.
My perception rolls have been shit today.
You look through, and even your keen eyes, Lyra, don't notice anything in the water where the previous sleeping hag was.
Probably inside if they're not hags.
Knock, knock, knock.
You hear a couple of startled yelps, of like ah, and
Couple
then
as in more than one person?
yes,
Ooh.
you hear some footsteps, some clattering, and some moving, and then you see the door, the two-part door, slowly crack open the smallest amount, and you see Sylvana's face. And
I
for
just
the
do a little
stream,
hello.
this is what Sylvana looks like. Sylvania.
She hot. Meek but hot.
She looks at you, and as she sees that it is you, and looks over your shoulder and sees Adia and the other two, which have, well, I don't know, is Honora moved closer, Ian? Antony has.
Just assume yes, because he's not here right now.
Okay. As you've all moved closer, you see this great smile crack her face, and she throws the door top wide so you can see into her hut, which is more than she's done even when normally talking to you. She normally has it like half closed behind her. And you see into her hut, and you do see two other figures sitting inside, looking like deers in headlights against the back wall, both of them holding teacups.
Alira's just like
And
grinning from ear to ear, happy to see such a sight.
okay, and the two that you see are the following.
Adia does a little wave at them.
Damn.
Oh, interesting.
Nice boobage.
And then and then the other one, when it loads.
Oof. Hello.
She was the oldest, wasn't she? Yeah, because Nadia was. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, Savani was the oldest, Nadia was the youngest, Vanari was the middle, I believe I said it was.
Well, I got Nadia 692, and then Venaria. My writing is either 600 or 660. I don't know.
Okay. Yes, you see the three of them, Savania with a huge smile, and she looks around at you two and says, You did it! You did it! Thank you!
I'm
Thank you
glad
so
it
much!
worked.
Yes, please, and then she turns back and says, Come on! They're friendly! And the two are just like almost frozen, barely even blinking or breathing.
It's
And she just,
it's okay if take it one step at a time. We understand.
uh, oh yeah, of course. Sorry, I just haven't seen my sisters in a long time.
Take all the time you have with them. We
What
don't.
time is it right now?
In the world, probably about 4:23.
We just wanted to make sure that it worked, and it has, and that's all we really wanted to do.
Yeah, yes, it has. Now that my sisters are free, and I assume the hag is dealt with.
Yes.
Okay, now that that is free, then we can go back to living our lives, looking for a family again.
And this is the part where we kill them and take all their stuff.
Also, kind of. He's a broke killer.
Right, that's how video games work, right? This is a Bioware game. We can
There are no rogues
betray
in
them
this
at the last
party.
second.
There are no rogues in the party.
I mean, there are some rogues in this party, though.
Oh, have you seen the pictures that popped up?
Mm-hmm.
I was
Yeah,
like,
they are.
damn.
Yeah, they are currently like held up against the back wall of this hut with like teacups in their hands. Oh, and Adia, you look in and you notice another figure is within the hut. A very well known, familiar, and quite fluffy creature.
I can't believe I thought about trying to bring you back in here because I knew you'd want to be in here, and you're already here.
Svani kind of turns down to him and says, he turned up about 2 days ago, very suddenly, looking quite hurt. We've been looking after him since. We were
Just
very
glad
worried.
he's okay, and I'm glad you guys are okay. And she tries to like get her composure and not look like her feelings are hurt.
As you sort of look off to the side and try and regain yourself, Savannah notices the flower that is in your ear, and she kind of goes, "You saw it! You got it!"
She'll like reach for it, and she was like, "Oh yeah, it's very pretty. I was gonna ask you about it. What?"
Oh, I dabble in the magics of natures because we're here, and I knew you guys were getting close, and I wanted to send this in case you weren't with us anymore, because Maddox arrived and appeared, and we were worried.
She thought you were dead.
I gathered. Thank you for the translation. It's beautiful. I appreciate it a lot.
Well, it should remain fresh for as long as you wear it. Well, now you've picked it.
I was actually scared to pick it, to be honest. It looked too pretty to take from nature.
Uh, if you hadn't, it would have just sat as a memorial, and we would have been even more worried that you were dead.
Well, I'm glad I decided to take
Yes, I'm glad you have it now.
She's kind of like she laughed, but it wasn't like a haha that's funny. It was more of a hysteria kind of laugh.
Well, we'll probably camp out at our usual spot tonight and take our leave in the morning.
Okay. Should we prepare some food? Would you like to join us for a meal before you leave?
I mean, if you're offering,
we
I'm
can
sure
if you
Nora's got some wondrous spices that we found.
Swamp spices.
Hag spices.
With all that delicious, fiendish evilness. Just really brings out the
maybe.
flavor.
Are you talking about tonight, or are you talking about in the morning?
Tonight, but I mean, when are you leaving? Will it be in the morning?
Yeah, we're leaving in the morning.
Well,
Then
it's
yes,
about
tonight.
it's getting close to 5 right now, and we don't know. We don't have like a place like 3 hours down the road that seems safer to camp than here, do we?
No.
Yeah.
That's why I said we're going to camp at our usual spot and leave in the morning. Dinner would be lovely.
Well, me and my sisters will get it all prepared, and then we'll come and get you when it's ready. Okay?
Do you want? Nora's a great cook. I don't know if you want an extra hand or not.
This is the least we can do to thank you for what you've done for us. Please.
We can help pick mushrooms.
I think Nora would take it many great things to have 3 beautiful women to cook with. I'm just saying.
Nora's like not even thinking about that. She's honestly just like, I don't know, I'm pretty good to just like not cook for a night. Like, I've been cooking y'all's breakfast every day. It's like, you know what? Having dinner cooked for me sounds nice.
Well, I guess we'll set up camp and wait. If you want to stay in here with them for now, Maddox, I mean, I understand if you want to. It's
Oh.
we are leaving tomorrow, so
Maddox does a few steps forwards and then sort of squishes down and then leaps forwards and lands on the door next to Sylvania, who reaches down and gives him a little scritch behind the ears, and then he does a full leap from there, and the impact on your shoulder sends you stumbling backwards.
it's fucking Maine Coon.
Roll me a strength check.
I was gonna
please.
say Tony catches her.
A strength saving throw.
Tony braces her.
Hey, that was with a -1.
You don't get knocked off your feet, but you do like have to take like a few steps back, and then Maddox is there, and there is a short, low purr which rumbles your chest quite thoroughly before he stops, and he's just now stood on your shoulder.
You
And
guys
that's a
Listen,
big
can
cat
hear
on a
me,
small
right?
shoulder.
she like wears him like a neck scarf basically,
I can hear
and
you.
if anybody's paying attention, you can see her visibly like relax a little.
Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you.
Okay, because I've been saying things and it's been like.
What'd you say?
Well, I said Tony would have braced you as he saw the cat coming.
Tony, even with all this, he's both excited and enjoyed, and is too caught up in the moment to take any action at this point. Nora could have
Okay.
braced her as he's behind her. As she's behind her,
It's
Yes.
fine.
but it's fine. She manages it under her own strength.
Um,
Okay. So Spania sort of turns to the others and is now sort of talking to them, trying to coach them to come forwards a bit, or to interact in any way. And she turns back and sees Lyra's wandered off, and she says, we'll get food ready in a couple of hours, and we'll see you then, okay? They got to get my sisters ready to meet you properly."
um,
I head
Y-
back down.
uh, she'll definitely like kind of hesitate while everyone's leaving, and just kind of give Sylvania a look. And do I have a message? She'll send her a message and be like, I know that having your sisters back is fresh right now, but there is a favor I need to ask of you um, whenever you have a moment, but privately.
She kind of tilts her head and her brows furrow for a moment, and you hear back, whatever I can do to assist you, I will. Just please let me know what it is you need me or my sisters for.
Adia will visibly nod and just, we'll, we'll be waiting for you guys down there.
Oh, sorry. I was gonna say like, would they be able to like quickly get us back to town?
Are you going to step forward and ask?
I was gonna wait till after we got like dinner time for that, but if you want to ask now, go ahead.
I'll wait on the question until after dinner.
Okay. So, you guys all withdraw back to your campsite a short distance down the hill and to the side, and set yourself back up for another night. Honora rebuilds the hut as it has started to collapse, and the string and the vines she had used before have started to fray a bit. But she reconnects it so it's a nice solid lean-to once again to keep you dry. And is there anything you guys would like to do during the 2-hour wait time before dinner is served? Anything you'd like to say or interact?
I mean, my character's just kind of, wrapped up in her cat and mentally apologizing to him furiously for him being hurt so bad again and are making stupid, reckless decisions. But she only does it mentally because she doesn't want anybody else to hear it or say it.
I'm reading a book, maybe like a prayer book or something, because I really need to get myself some books.
Okay. So she goes over her prayer book that she knows by
Heart.
knows by heart exactly backwards and forwards, left and right.
I'm also just like
Add-
casually studying rivers just for fun.
Okay. Roll me. Are you like just sitting across the camp, occasionally stealing glances towards him, or are
Yeah,
you
just like
over the top of the book
every once
staring?
in a while, I'll just like look and be like, I wonder what he's thinking. He's a tough one to
Okay.
crack. Just like as you do with people, you're just, and then you go back to your book.
Okay. Roll me perception as you do this. See what you can pick up about rivers. 21. Okay. So you do notice that as he's starting to take things out of various pouches during setting up, he's very meticulous about where they go. He notices across one of the bandoliers he's got a couple of pouches like studded, and he feels like one of them has slipped a bit, so he fully takes it off and he repositions it until it's in the exact right position. Gets it in place, ready to go. At one point he puts his hand on sort of the sword hilt and tenses on it and closes his eyes for a few moments, and then opens them and lets go of his sword hilt. This was the black sword that he carries. But he then sort of catches your eye as you stare at as you look over at him at one point, and you guys lock eyes across the campsite for a few moments.
I did that
Do
little,
you?
smile. It's like, hi. you know.
He raises a hand as a little like the awkward hand wave. Do you look away first?
Assert your dominance. Do not look away.
I don't look away like, oh, I wasn't looking. I just was like, go back to my book. I was just looking.
T-pose
Actually,
to assert
instead of
dominance.
looking at my book, I just look at the trees. I was just like, just looking around.
Just looking around. You feel his gaze on you for like another half minute or so, just like, why was she looking at me sort of gaze, and then he goes back to what he was doing with a shake of his head.
While that was happening, I don't know, this might seem weird. Could I write a note to Sylvania describing what I need her to do with these night flowers? If possible, and like tie it on Maddox or whatever and send Maddox on his way.
Okay, yeah, you can do that. You get out a bit of your spare notepaper, you scribble down your quick instructions, which you will send to me, and Maddox has it tucked under his collar.
Mm-hmm.
He runs over to her, and you don't. You looking through his eyes as he does so, or are you just assuming he'll make it? It's
Yeah, I'll
like
look through his
20
eyes
feet.
because I'm still gonna be like,
Uh,
you were gone for 2 days. I need to make sure you're safe.
You see, not sort of in a flat area, not far from either your area or the hut, the three sisters are sort of almost intertwined in some kind of dance together, moving in a sort of about a 30-foot circle kind of space, and they're marking out like things on the ground as they do so.
I quickly like withdraw from Maddox, though, just because I'm trying not to intrude. I was just wanting to make sure he got there and tell him not to bother them, but to sit there and wait. For them to complete what they're doing.
Okay.
I will message you exactly what it says, or
Yeah. Once I get that, no, Ian's gone again. I forgot what he was doing. If you send me that message, when Ian gets back, I'll ask him what
Here,
he's doing.
do this. I'm not listening.
Okay.
Oh, so
Just
wait,
saying.
just to tell you, all it basically was going to say was like, there was an incident that happened during our travels, and honestly, one of your sleep potions, similar to what you did for your sisters, would be very helpful. If not two, I'm hoping I won't need it, but it would be a precautionary thing. It involves a curse and one of my sisters.
Damn Ian. Okay. That arrives to Sylvania. I'll ping Kayla.
Wait, what's going on?
Put them back on!
There we go. So because you were gone, Crystal was going to send me a private message about what was happening, but instead Kayla just took her headphones off so stream could hear. Yeah, so that message arrives to them, as far as you're aware, and then about about an hour, about half an hour later. In fact, that was about halfway through, so about an hour later. In fact, Honora, while you're here, actually, are you doing anything during this time period, or just relaxing?
Or she's just relaxing.
Okay, so you find a nice, comfy place to sit and relax. Yeah, after about an hour from the time that the message was sent, you guys hear excuse me, hello, friends.
Oh, hello.
You see Savani's form sort of poke around and look down at you all. And he says, the food is just about to be ready. My sisters are finishing it now. Would you like to come and join us, please?
Be right there.
Does Rivers follow us? I don't know if he follows us.
Rivers is going to join in this, yes. He's not going to miss out on this kind of this thing. And so does your brother Anthony. As you leave your sort of area of campsite, you realize that the terrain has changed slightly. Adia, the area that you saw them doing their things on before has leveled out a bit, and also a giant tree stump has formed. Filling
Oh,
the
shit.
interesting. Interesting.
laden out on it are a few wooden bowls and plates and various things, and you see on the center of the area what appears to be a larger, much more ornate and elegant bowl studded with gems placed in the center. And as you look up, you see Nadia and Vanaria are both finishing some sort of strange movement dance where they're working in time and they seem to be flowing against each other. And then they both reach out and touch the bowl, and there's a slight flash and a flow of warm energy that fills the area, and you'll feel warmer, the evening chill is gone, and the table is laid out with a feast fit for a king.
Or maybe some heroes?
Like
maybe
some sort
some
of heroes
heroes.
feast?
Yeah. And you are all invited. You get like a half smile from Nadia and Venari, who also they realize you're there after they finish their spell, and they're like, there is a slight vocalization from Venaria.
We are only
That
friends.
was amazing.
Thank you. Savani hurries over to them and, does the big sisterly thing of congratulating them and saying they're doing good. But you guys are invited to kneel or sit cross-legged how you want around the stump, as it is only sort of, waist high, so you can use it as a table while sitting. And you can enjoy a feast, a hero's feast, that they have prepared for you this day.
Sweet.
I look at Maddox. Does he look like he doesn't have a thing around his neck anymore?
Yeah, there is no little note around his neck.
Cool.
So what does this hero's feast get us?
So a hero's feast. A creature that partakes of the feast gains several benefits. The creature is cured of all diseases and poison, becomes immune to poison and being frightened, makes all wisdom saving throws with advantage, and its hit point maximum are also increased by 2d10, and it gains the same number of hit points. These benefits last for 24 hours. So
Sweet.
you guys all gain 12 hit points.
Slightly above average. Hell yeah.
I mean, that's like 50% of your health to begin with. So
True. True, true, true.
So yeah, you guys next day gain 12 hit points and all those other benefits. Jacobs is looking very surprised by this and is happily tucking in. One thing you do all notice, though, as you look across, the feast doesn't contain anything that might resemble meat.
That's fine.
There's a lot of vegetarian
I wouldn't
dishes there.
assume so. I'm sure Rivers will have his jerky later.
Yeah. You kind of look. Hang on, actually. Okay, so he's trying to be stealthy about it, but occasionally Rivers is like pulling out like the bowl of tray mix, like salad and stuff, and you see him crumbling something into it and then eating it. Like crumbling in some bacon bits. The sisters all notice it, and they kind of there's a slight scowl from Venaria, but besides from that, they don't seem to really care that much at this point. Yes, you
These
guys.
kale chips are fantastic.
Stuffed mushrooms.
Stuffed mushrooms, stuffed aubergine, stuffed
Ooh,
peppers,
that could be good.
some nice roasted vegetables, nut loaf, all that good stuff.
Are there stuffed potatoes?
There are 6 different types of potatoes,
My mom made
Oh
these
damn!
including sautéed,
artichoke stuffed
flambéed,
mushrooms.
ricocheted.
Ricocheted.
Yes, there is a very large variety of delicious food which you guys can all consume.
Can Maddox get in on this?
Maddox has his own little bowl in his own little area that he is eating the finest of kibble.
Kibbles and bits.
Adia, as you are sitting down, you actually feel a slight tremor next to you. And as you look down, you see the earth, a small patch of earth is starting to shake and tremble, and a root starts winding its way out. How do you react? It's a root about the size of your finger.
I guess you'll reach for it because at this point, like, we're around some like crazy dryad druid thingies or whatever they are, and this has to be normal, hopefully.
You reach down and it reaches up to you and it kind of winds itself around your wrist and then seems to pull in a bit. And then as you see looking down to where it came out, you see the top of a potion bottle start to emerge and comes out. And you see a small potion there.
I pluck at it.
Okay. You get a slight head nod from Savania at this. But yeah, the Savania is trying to bring as much small talk to the table as possible, trying to get her sisters to engage. They are very stunted. They are very scared still, and they don't know what quite is going on because they've been told that they've been doing all sorts of strange things. You do hear Nadia at one point complain that she can't, like, even though this food is all good, she can't get the taste of copper out of her mouth.
I think when we go back to town, we can leave out the part of who exactly the hags were. Just that we dealt with the situation. Not mention you at all.
If you could, that would be most appreciated. The less people really know of us, the more we enjoy it, because people are less likely to come and find us for any reason. Yes, thank you. You're heading back to the town, though, yes?
Yes.
Um, if you don't want to travel the swamps again, we can help you get there.
Can you?
Yeah, we can get you there pretty quickly if you need to.
Well, that would be cool.
There is a sense of urgency to get back.
Yeah, I kind of want a bath. At some point soon.
Okay.
Adia just kind of like behind Alira's back gives her a hard look and then looks at Savannah and just like,
There's a slight look of crestfallenness about Sylvania as she looks between the two of you, but then she shakes and says, yes, I can get you there now if you really need to go right now.
there's such like a hard pain of guilt in her because she just wants to talk to her so bad about all the information she wanted to have. Ah, we probably should go.
Okay.
Would you
Um,
consider us friends?
there is a look between the sisters, all three of them, and they all sort of stop what they're doing. They all sort of stare at each other for a moment, and then they kind of pull in, and there is some words being said between them in Sylvan.
Is it in Sylvan? Because we understand Sylvan.
We all
We all
understand
understand Sylvan.
You understand it.
We all understand Sylvan.
It is hushed, so you guys can't hear it.
Mhm.
Unless anybody wants to roll a perception check to try and eavesdrop.
Honora, nosy ass bitch.
Like I said, Honora doesn't say much, but she hears a lot.
Honora, you hear something about, do we make them friends? What is ... possible ... really ... like you know you're missing a lot of the conversation, but you hear several words like that kind of thing.
Uh, she doesn't really say anything. She didn't really pick up enough information to really make any sort of act on. So
Okay. Yeah, they sort of turn around and say, we would say you are our friends, yes.
Perhaps sometime in the future. Not too soon. We might come and visit.
Two of them, the new two, look terrified suddenly. Sylvania has that look for a moment and then realizes what you mean, and she says, yeah, I would like that. I would like that.
We'll try to give advance warning to prepare.
If you could. Lyra and Adia, roll me insight. No, perception as you're quickly. Both of you.
My perception's been shit. I've just been preoccupied all past few days.
Yeah, okay, you guys don't notice anything as she says this. You guys should have gone with your passive perceptions.
Yeah, it would have been better.
13.
But you guys don't notice anything as she says
14.
that. Yeah, she says, once the feast is done and it's tidied away, I can send you on your way to wherever you'd like to be.
Oh yeah, we'll totally do dishes. Of course.
It's fine on the dishes front. Don't worry about that. We'll grow more and then return these to nature to feed the plants.
That is so convenient.
That lifestyle has its benefits. Yes. Small talk resumes after this, unless anybody has anything more to say for the rest of the hour.
Adia does not want to press them in front of everybody about any of that information, so she just continues with the small talk and yeah.
So the hour finishes up, and the food that is left on the table slowly starts to dissipate into a cloud of nothingness as it wipes away, but you all still feel the solid, reaffirming taste of all the food that you've eaten sitting inside of you and keeping you going.
Oh, if we get back to village,
Nadia,
we can sleep in a bed tonight.
Nadia and Venaria start gathering, quickly sweeping the plates, and you see them put them together and then wander off into the distance a bit, and then you hear a clatter, clatter, clatter. That sounds like a lot of bowls and plates have just been thrown away. And then you see Sylvania put her hand down towards the center of this large stump, and she says, when I do this, I need you all to dive in and be ready to head off, okay? It won't be open for very long. Everybody ready?
Yeah, Adia wrote a little note again and just hands it off to her like before. And
She
it's not like something super important. I'll tell you later.
Yeah, message me it later.
Yeah.
But she takes it, she smiles to you, and she just smiles to you and takes it and tucks it away, and then says, "I will. Well, it has been nice to meet some humans for once that weren't like the others."
Glad to not be shitty humans.
Agreed.
And good luck. This'll get you about half an hour away from the town. Just head straight towards the setting sun, and you'll get there before dark.
Sweet.
Okay. And you see from her arm sort of vines and that sprout and connect into the tree, and then there's a pulse, and the tree top becomes a portal. And you'll dive in, and you feel yourself diving out the other side of a tree. And it's a little bit unorthodox, a little bit, messy, as you've never traveled this way before. But you all find yourself teleported back to the area around the swamp town, Little Water.
That was insane.
Oh, hey, look at this.
Hey, it's this shithole.
There's a bed in this building, okay?
This was the little port where you leaned over and threw up the rancid meat.
Oh, yeah, good times.
We thought that was the worst thing that was going to happen to us in the swamp.
Guess we traveled a half hour?
You travel a half hour and you arrive, as we were saying, the just as the sun is setting. Do you head straight to the drippy tankard?
Yeah, we can get payment in the morning.
So you head straight to the drippy tankard, where you
What's his face?
find where what's his face, the one-eyed sniveling barman, is waited and prepared for you.
Oh, hey, we're back. We're live. Surprise.
Yeah, you're naive. What? Oh, fuck.
And we fixed the problem too.
Oh, yeah, hags are gone.
So pay us.
No, we're gonna go to the guy who's paying us in the morning, Honora.
What?
We're gonna go sleep tonight.
Right.
Pay us in food.
How about you just go and, you paid for 2 nights last time, you only took one. Go and sleep.
Sweet.
Don't worry, I cleaned out the rats out of your room last night, so they should be nice and fresh. Not too many dung piles, I swept it.
So we got fresh rats, or the rooms are fresh?
Yes.
I know about you guys, but I am tired. I'm going to bed. Tony, no pranks. I'm not
Yes, Mom.
gonna save your ass this time. I'll be sleeping.
Yeah, so you guys, you have moderate comfort. It's slightly nicer than being in your raw mats on soft dirt.
Is there
But
a bath of some sorts?
The swamp.
there is a copper bath. If you want, he can go and fetch you some water and heat it. It will
I
cost you
just need a
5 silver for
basin
a
of
bath.
water.
Just a basin?
Just a
You
basin.
can do that.
Sponge bath,
He,
yo.
he goes out. He grabs a bucket. You see him take a bucket. He steps outside.
Salt
Goes
water.
off. He's gone off for about 2-3 minutes, and then he comes back in with a nice bucket of water. He brings it over to you and places down. And says, "Here you go, miss."
Cool. Thank you.
Water
I
has a slight
ritual
green
cast
tinge.
this.
Okay, so the water, after it's having its slight green tinge and pieces in it, suddenly clears out to pure, clean, crystal water.
Thank you.
Hey, would you be willing to do that for me for a bit? I could do with a couple of barrels of water being purified. Be nicer for making me food with than this swampy shit.
Well, you're lucky I have it prepared today. Sure.
Excellent. I'll even throw in dinner for free.
I
I've got it prepared
mean,
already.
we kind of ate before we came.
Oh, alright. Breakfast.
Breakfast it is. No meat, though. No dried, cured meats. No
Okay.
suspect meats.
You got
So
purified food and water. It would be
you
okay.
want
Never mind.
mushrooms
Never
and
mind.
bread?
You do what you do. I just remembered you did that fried bread thing.
Yeah.
All right, show me these barrels because I'm gonna do this before I go to bed.
He takes you off to the back kitchen area and then the pantry, and he just has like 2 decently large sized barrels.
Cool. I take 22
If you
minutes to do
want,
both.
yeah, yeah,
One for each.
1 casting per barrel, and
22
it
minutes
clears
to do
out, and
this.
it's nice. Free of poison, diseases, purified. Okay. You actually notice some like food that was being kept on a shelf above the barrel starts to change color as you do this. It goes off from its slightly off gray color back to a nice pink, like the meat should
Spend an
be.
extra 11 minutes and just find an open area of food and do it.
You
You got all the
purify.
spell points. Why don't you just like pew 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 pew?
Has ritual casting, yo.
Yeah, but okay.
I don't know if something's gonna attack us in the middle of the night.
Suddenly the
Mhm.
Demogorgon appears. No, yeah, he quite happily smiles with his big like 3-toothed smile at you. Says, "Oh, thanks, miss. I wasn't expecting that. That'll be good. I'll keep for another 6 months now." Yeah, as I said, breakfast on the house. Thank you very much. And he sort of pats you on the shoulder, and then turns and walks away with his sort of limp.
Then I go back to my room and I wash up. And then go to
Again.
bed. No, I didn't
So
I didn't get to do it before. Like
you
I purified the water and then he's like, "Yo, can you do it to me?" And I was like, "Okay, let's go do this now." Before I take everything off and give myself a sponge bath. I don't know.
Okay, so you clean yourself down with the water, and you look down at the water at the end of it. It's quite dirty again.
Mhm.
You've gotten a good amount of dirt off, but floating around in the top is a small collection of your hair. It's clearly sticking out with this vivid redness. Maybe it's like more than you like. When you go to a shower and you just like
Mhm.
pull through your hair a few times, you get like a bit, and
Mhm.
it comes out. Maybe like that. Maybe a little bit more. You can't really tell. It's not very well lit in here.
Think briefly what Honora said the night before. And then the curse takes over and I just like shrug it off. Dump the water.
Dump the water straight out the window, back into
Yeah.
the swamp it came from.
I'm playing this curse, okay?
Yeah, yep, yep. Yeah.
Nothing's
So the night.
wrong.
Does anybody have anything else they'd like to do for the night? Adia, while you're here, seeing as Honora's run away.
Nope. Instead of using water, I just prestidigitation myself as clean as I can, and play with my cat, and if I feel like I need to edit my map any, I work on that. I just busy myself
Can you-
till I'm exhausted.
Can you prestidigitate a laser pointer?
Yes, you can.
I have done this multiple times in the past, and the very last thing I do before go to bed is that, because I've exhausted all other productivity, and so the last thing I can do is just try and
Let's
humor
see.
myself.
Pew pew pew.
You can spend like 5 minutes with the lasers, and then Maddox spends about 20 minutes doing the zoomies.
He just
At one
stares
point
at
you'll
you,
hear
going,
a
"Do it again, do it again."
At one point, Alira, as you're sort of starting to lie back and relax, you hear a very solid into the wall next to you. Maddox has just slipped across the boards and body slammed into this wall, and then kept going.
It's more fun that I get out of my cat. My cat figures out the laser, like knows where it comes from, and then it's like done.
Oh,
It's like a minute of fun, and then it's like he's too smart for his own good. Oh, you
Nora,
are
are you
up there,
doing
aren't you?
anything here today? In this evening, while you're here at the tavern, or are you not? What are you doing? Just going straight to bed?
She'll just maintain her equipment and then go to bed.
Alira found more hair and proceeded to ignore it.
Oh, I heard.
Okay.
Okay, so the night passes. It's comfortable compared to the outside. It's warmer. It's a bit damper.
I knocked down another day off my counter.
You wake up in the morning bright and early. Rivers gets you all up at early o'clock if you weren't already, like 5.
I'm already awake.
I was considering waking up early just to talk to
Actually-
Rivers.
Actually, I'll say she sleeps in a little.
So
Not of her
6:02
choice.
instead of 6.
I think maybe she's feeling a little sluggish.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm feeling this curse thing, and let's see what happens. Hair's falling
So-
out. Maybe she sleeps a little extra.
You all pick this up quite noticeably that Alira has stayed in bed an hour later. You don't know if she's just stayed in her room and chosen not to come out, but even after Rivers comes around, knocks on your doors, she doesn't emerge for a while after that.
Bags under my eyes.
Adia actually tries to inform Rivers, Nora, and Antonia, like, hey, I got this sleeping potion. If worst comes to worst, I need you guys to be able to help me administer this to her. If, she starts trying to run away or just becomes too combative. I got it from the sisters.
Rivers nods approvingly and says, "Yes, having a backup plan is a very smart idea. You see, that book learning wasn't wasted. You have definitely picked up on it."
She just kind of nods.
Then turns to you and says, "We should get the payment from the elder and then gather our horses and leave quickly."
I should actually name my horse, for crying out loud.
So we go collect our payment.
You go over to the elder's house. He seems quite ecstatic at the fact that you guys have said you've collected payment. Alira, yes? You're saying something?
Oh, I was
Gonna say
gonna
something.
suggest Adia could stop by the girl's house, the map connoisseur.
Oh, yeah, the house. I mean, you do literally have to pass it on your way to the man's house, as it's this one.
Mhm.
So, yeah.
You should show her your map.
I know I spent my money poorly. And she just, like, goes over to the, like, is it an open door? Is she, because I know she's like a merchant almost, right?
Yeah, she's the closest thing this town has to a general store.
Is it just like an open door or is it a closed door? She like,
It is an open door. One thing you notice as you sort of get up to it and look in, it seems a lot emptier than last time. there is some bags placed in near the door, look like travel bags.
Oh, she used the money to leave.
She's taking care of her horses, though.
Does look like all of the bags in here are prepped and ready to go at a moment's notice. But
Right.
doesn't seem to be anybody in there as you look in at the first sight.
Maybe she's looking in on her horses.
Do you guys think we should check on our horses, or should we just get payment first?
Why don't you guys go get your payment? I'll wait here and see if she comes back.
I'll go.
Okay, I'll go with Honora.
And Tony says he'll stay with Alira to wait for the woman, as he doesn't really feel the need to get reward for doing a good deed. Fucking paladins, yo.
Noble ass motherfucker.
Just remind him I have good rates on funeral. I'm joking. Don't say anything.
Okay. So 3 of you depart off towards the elder's house. Alira. So you sort of stand there looking into the somewhat small house, and then looking back around the outside, you start feeling almost uncomfortable. And just being near the door feels more comfortable. In your head, you start thinking, I don't know, I feel like I prefer being inside compared to being outside.
That wasn't supposed to start till the end, Floof.
I mean, you don't feel any compulsion to move or anything, you just feel a very slight sense of unease. This is a nice small house, you're nearby. But yes. Heading back to the others. Adia, Honora, and Rivers, you arrive at the elder's house. Rivers knocks, and shortly afterwards the old, pudgy, stout man arrives and steps out. Says, "Oh, you returned. Have you done it? Have you completed your tasks?"
Yeah. Yeah. Adia realizes she's the one actually talking now, because the two talkers are not here. What are we doing? This is the reverse.
I'm here.
Yeah, but you are a not talk much kind of person. Wasn't without complication, but we got the deed done.
Oh, well. Thank you for striving to complete this task we set before you. We shall, of course, send our kind regards to the Knights Order and make sure our contributions to them are given, but your personal rewards here, what we've managed to scrape together for you. And he kind of puts a hand up and waits, and then enters back into his house and closes the door. And you guys can hear some movement going on inside. At one point, you hear sound of more creaking doors inside, and heavy footsteps going up some internal stairs before coming back down. And he emerges back out with a burlap sack, and he just hands it off to Rivers. Full payment should be located in there, just as we agreed. Uh, I hope you enjoy your stay in my wonderful town. Please feel free to, I don't know, enjoy the sights and scenes, and please, for God's sake, tell somebody I'm here so I can leave.
You know, that
Will
seems to
do.
be a running theme of this town. The only person that seems to not want to leave is the barkeep.
But he's crazy, so you guys, yeah. But thank you. I'm going to go back to sleep because it's like 6 a.m. and I didn't sleep this last night. Also because I'm fat, old, and lazy.
Okay.
He just gives a self-deprecating grin, sort of waves, and then turns around, walks through the door, and closes it on you.
Sure, we would
And
have
then-
waited till we ate breakfast and then set off, but sure.
I mean, yeah, but you got like up at 5ish. It's like 6, maybe 7, pushing it. It's not that. It's quite early for some people. But you guys have your cash. You return and rejoin your siblings outside the house. Nobody has returned yet, Alira. But
Can
where would you
I
like to head from here?
look to see where there might be a stable?
Yeah, there is. It's more of a barn than a dedicated
'Cause
stable.
it was like
It's
this
not
way,
too-
right?
Yeah, it was just a little way out of town over here, off screen, essentially.
Cool.
And you head towards it, and Nora, you actually hear the sound, a very familiar sound to you. A sound of some yipping, some
Fluovers!
barks, and then some heavy footsteps pounding towards you from this huge ass dog as Geralt charges over towards you, easily 60% your height and 200% your mass. He collides with you in a ball of fur, licks, and barking.
Nora just accepts the tackle. Like, doesn't even brace.
You are on your back. He is on top, and he is going crazy. You have abandoned him for like a week, and now he sees you again, and he's like, "Yes!"
Ah, there it all is, right next to the surf protector. Lovely. Sorry, spill some.
No.
Put the glass or put the bottle back on the coaster. Turns out, I put it on the edge of the coaster.
Oof.
Ooh,
Stop spilling
You're
on
having
things.
bad luck, man.
Yeah.
Mistakes were made.
How
Unfortunate.
heavy is this dog, by the way, since he's...
I mean, he's a Tibetan Mastiff, so
He's big boy. We're talking like 300 pounds soaking wet. Maybe even more. Like he is literally nearly twice Nora's body mass.
yeah,
And Nora's not small.
Is there any other?
barely got any of it.
I could ride this dog as a mount.
I kept like looking for it and looking for it. Finally found it.
You did find the
Yeah.
Yay, you found it!
As Nora is going through her reunion, the other three of you look over, and coming out of the stable after the door, which got knocked open, is the young woman that was in the shop beforehand. And you see her eyes light up as you arrive, and she rushes over to see you.
Hello.
Well, hello. Yes, you're back. That's excellent. That's excellent news. Yes.
You going
Your
somewhere?
horses all...
That was not rude whatsoever.
Well, I mean, I was I was gonna build up and ask, but maybe when you leave the swamp, could I come with you just so I can have an escort out of the swamp? And I won't be a bother or anything. And I just really don't want to be in this swamp anymore.
Like the rogue in me, Crystal, wants to be like, well, that will cost you however many gold pieces I paid for that map information. But alas, I'm not playing a rogue. So I will let the others decide what they want to decide.
I mean,
And Tony's all for it.
I don't see why not.
No, thank you, thank you. Your horses have all been fed and brushed, and they're all ready to go as well. If you want to saddle them up and stuff, I'll run and get my packs. And she sort of looks side to side, and then sprints off back towards town, back along the bridge, and you see her getting towards her house. Your horses are all present and accounted for. And Tony kind of looks at Griff that's been following him this whole time, this, magical reindeer, whatever it is. No, magical, like, moose, I think it was. And says, we have a spare horse.
I mean, she's gonna need it.
Raise a good point.
Do we want to take a small break so you can figure out what the hell's going on?
Yep, we will
So
take a
see.
small break here and be back
Nipped.
at the hour.
Cool.
I need to let the dogs out because he won't quit crying.
We good to go.
Okay, welcome back, everyone. Thanks for joining us after our break. Okay, so we will return back into the little town of Little Water. The 4 siblings have been reunited with their horses. They've received their reward and have agreed
And
to
dog.
sport and dog, which is a reward in and of itself.
True.
And you have agreed to escort a young woman from Little Water to the nearest, well, out of the swamp, and as long as she sticks with you, essentially. She's looking to go to a city, but you guys don't really pass through any on your way.
We just escort her out of the troubled areas, and then she can be on her own.
Yeah.
I do show her my map that I've been working on for the past week. And let her know that without her rough base estimates, it probably might have not been possible.
She seems quite happy that she has in some way assisted you. And yes, you guys depart from Littlewood, riding fairly hard, I imagine, for the Citadel of Ironwood. Your first day, you cover a great distance, going up and down out of this swamp, breaking away finally at the end of the day out of the sort of outer reaches of the swamp, and emerging into the more rolling hill lands and grasslands and forests that make up the majority of the Borough Principalities. As you settle down to camp for the first day, in a lean-to made by Nora, I imagine.
Mm-hmm.
Adya, you're on first shift, so roll me perception check with advantage as Maddox is awake and with you.
I'm at 10.
Finally.
Double one.
I'll roll another one, but
Yeah. So with the 19, yeah, you circuit the camp a few times with Maddox not too far behind, watching everything. And
I do take a moment to stare at Lyra sleeping for a bit, just looking at her.
oh, okay. And with your perception, you do notice that at one point she sort of rolls over in her sleep and moves across her, and the area where she had previously been, the pillow has several long strands of her hair just laying down against it.
Are we all doomed to early onset baldness?
Nope, just me.
You're gonna have a bald head, and you're gonna have to grow your hair back. It's gonna be like a statement. What is that? Not trying to realize what is probably going to happen.
Don't know what's
How
happening.
far travel?
I'm fine.
How far travel do we have? Do we think?
We're going back to like our
mhm.
knight's place, right?
Yeah, going back to Citadel Ironwood, it was about 4 days travel from Little Water by horse. You've done a day. Okay. Nothing else happens for the rest of the night. You guys stand your watches. Alira, you once again, I imagine, feel a bit reluctant to be woken by the sun when you do wake up. And you do nestle down into your bag and enjoy the warmth of being so cozy and cuddled around. Before
It's a nice feeling.
Before Antony kind of comes over and picks the base of your bag up and just lifts it, and you roll out onto the floor.
The heck?
You'd been sleeping in for over half an hour. It's time for us to go. We need to head out.
There are gentler ways to wake someone up. Jeez.
We tried.
Obviously not.
I mean, next time we just put your sleeping body in your knapsack and we just load you onto a horse.
No, we literally been shaking you for the past half hour.
I seriously doubt that.
Would you doubt it if I said it?
Who's saying it?
No, it's Antony.
Oh.
Sorry. Tried to play Antony for a while.
I don't know if it's Antonio Rivers. So
Yeah, I can't. I don't want to.
Rivers has a much gruffer voice
Oh, okay.
than your voice of Anthony.
I mean, I don't know.
Yeah.
You guys are probably pranking me right now. You did just like throw me out of my role.
Bro, it's just a prank.
Just a prank, bro. But yeah, you guys are all awakened, all prepared. The woman has not yet left you. She is still trailing behind, keeping respectfully apart, but is very happy to have finally been out of the swamp. And you see now she's out. She's let her hair down and it's flowing along. And she just seems revitalized from being out of that area.
What were you doing in the swamp to begin with? Did you grow
Uh,
up there?
I was running the general store, and no, kind of yes, no. I got out for a little while. I was born there, yeah. Mum used to run the store, but then Dad took me off to go into one of the cities. But then, Dad died, and I got sent back to Mum by my uncle. And once I tasted some freedom in a place that's not, a swamp, I wanted to leave again. But I never had the money to afford a place to go. And
I've kind of
as
like
much as I
have
hate the
my foot
swamp,
up
I don't want
now.
to be. As much as I hate the swamp, I don't really want to be homeless either.
I can respect that.
Could always try to be a knight. I mean, if Addie can do it, anyone can do it.
A knight? Like, with shining armor and swords and stuff? She kind of looks down at her small frame.
I look at
Uh,
Addie's small frame.
She doesn't seem like a knight.
Well, we're about to. This
No,
was
no
our
offense.
graduation mission.
None taking. I'm more of an academic than a martial expert.
Like, what type of knight do you mean?
I just kind of glance at Rivers to see like his reaction to us talking about this. I don't know like how.
He's definitely listening in, and he's got an eyebrow raised. He notices you, and he's like, kind of, the "what are you gonna do" shrug.
I mean, well, knight is a funny word. We basically are part of, or trying to be part of an order that does what we just did for the swamp.
That's our
You had an issue.
final mission to graduate.
You had an issue. You were willing to pay for the issue to be taken care of, and we were willing to risk our lives for the money.
I mean,
I mean, they
would they
don't just.
want someone like me?
Do you have any skills?
I was the best merchant in Little Water.
There's a training period, to build
I,
up skill.
I, I once
Do you have any
sent a boy
trade
running when
skills? Like building or masonry or smithing?
I can do carpentry. I kept my house going well enough. I can look after myself. There was this boy back in high school who used to come and try and pick on me, and I sent him away with a bloody nose more than once.
Because they may just be able to find more uses for you outside of combat related matters without having to train you.
Again, looking towards Rivers to see how he reacts to that.
He gave a snort and a giggle, but tried to cover it up. He's like, but yeah. She turns to you and says, "Would they be able to, give me a place to stay and feed me while I worked for them? Would I have to pay them for that? Would they pay me?"
Is that something we know? Like,
You
I
guys,
don't.
you guys haven't paid a penny since you arrived. You've just essentially sworn an oath to work for them. So far,
I mean, if you're
it's a
comfortable swearing your labor to them, they aren't They're good to us. The best they can be.
Okay. I want everybody who would like to be involved with this to roll me a persuasion check.
Can I give someone else advantage?
You can either all roll individually or one person can be elected from the group.
I'm +0, so
Charisma dumpster. I can roll if you want me to, but
Honora, do you want to run it or do you want Antonio to do it?
For what are we rolling?
persuasion.
Either everybody is rolling in persuasion separately or Antonio is rolling it with advantage.
I mean,
or
I
you can roll it with
swapped
advantage.
I swapped my wisdom and charisma skill. So my charisma is shitty.
I would just let.
-1.
And Tony's got the
Antonio-
best
Yeah.
charisma as a paladin.
Okay. So with advantage,
Yeah.
21. She seems quite agreeable to the idea. She kind of nods and says, well, are you heading to them now? Should I just follow you all the way?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, thank you.
Finally,
for this
Rivers, is that
opportunity.
okay?
Rivers says, kind of rides up and says, Madam, yes, I am a full member of the Knights. I am here
Now
watching
he
over
speaks
these.
up. Jesus Christ. I mean,
I'm watching over these, and yes, the Knights Ordained, and you kind of like guides her away, and he's doing the full sales pitch mode now.
reel her in,
Yeah,
and then he just takes over.
I mean, yeah. But yeah, no, she did seem convinced to come with you to Ironwood, at the very least to check it out, if not to, she's not kneeling down on the ground and swearing an oath to you right now, but she's following along.
Have we
Okay.
sworn our oath yet, or are we swearing our oath soon?
So you've sworn an oath to, go through a trial period, training and stuff, and essentially it's more like, as much as it's swearing an oath, it's more like an employment contract.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're not going to hunt you down. You're not going to be smited by mythical forces if you just don't turn up again. But you've said you're going to, and you're getting paid to do so. And you're getting training and free lodging and food. What you are going to go and do is be ordained, which is full initiation into the order, which if you break that, yes, they will hunt you down. That is a mythical binding force. You have seen it done once before. There was one other recruit who joined a while before you and was ordained while you were there. Nasonov Nikotovich.
He's gonna be
Who
villain later.
Or
who
is he
you
dead?
who you met up before. You were allowed to witness the ordaining ceremony. He was dressed in a ceremonial robe. He went in before several ordained priests and the leader of the order, Sir Jerton. And some rituals were enacted and some spells were cast. And appearing from behind him was a shimmering form of spiritual, radiant form of a knight who, full on knighted his shoulders. And then when he rose, he for a short while had a almost halo-like aura around him of glowing for the next 24 hours. And that's what you saw previously.
I don't like that. How it sounds.
Well, what are you doing here?
But yes, you guys are attempting. That is what you guys are hoping will happen after this, depending on River's report.
What's the weather like?
Right now,
No, tomorrow.
It is a
Yes, right
crisp 75 degrees outside with 35% humidity and a 0% chance of rain.
So it is a hot day, and there is some severe wind going on. We're talking like harsh gale force heat, constant dry gale
Ugh.
force heat. It is muggy. It is like you're sweating under your clothes kind of
now.
weather.
I feel like Alira says she's cold and is wrapped in her cloak.
Honora just looks at her with the biggest, like, did you actually just say that
What? I'm cold.
face?
I don't know why. I'm just cold.
Your check feels your forehead. Like, are you running a fever?
Medicine check.
But I'll
If you'd
do it.
like to, roll medicine.
Don't think I won't.
It's wisdom based, so you should be good. Yeah. She doesn't feel any different. She doesn't feel like a fever. You've had them before,
Oh, good. So she's just crazy.
pretty much. While everybody else is, feeling this a lot, Anora, you're actually somewhat enjoying this temperature. It reminds you of the dry heat of the underground caverns where you used to, travel the dark roads underneath the world, the old abandoned dwarven passages and stuff with your company. And it gives you a very strong sense of that again.
Yeah, but she always preferred, like, when they actually broke out into the surface and actually stayed up in the mountain air. She actually prefers cooler temperatures.
Okay. Fair. Good to know.
It's like, don't tell me what my character likes.
Dare you? Good
I
day.
wasn't saying she liked it. I'm saying it reminded her of nice times.
Nice times
Murdering
of
things under the
slaughtering
ground.
monsters in the Underdark.
Yeah,
where she
with
can't
your
see anything.
friends. I know that you had lanterns. You're all human. You had lanterns. Yeah. So, the second day of travel completes
Yay.
and draws to an end. The night passes uneventfully, and I'm actually going to fast forward here, straight to the arrival at Ironwood. So,
Okay.
Caleb, mark off
Okay,
2
so
more
wait, hold
full
on.
days.
So that just completed a day, and I put it to 9.
So, yep, and then take 2 more off
So 7.
for 2 more completed days. 7 days. You are
A
halfway through
whole
your
week.
time limit.
This entire time, my character has on a separate map, like trying to do a grander, less detailed scale of just basically, the area herself. Actually, that map that I purchased. 1 second.
It was a map of Eberron, I believe.
Yeah, that's not where we are right now, is it?
What?
You've been skirting the border. There's been a few roads in, but those normally have checkpoints.
Yeah.
And even where there aren't checkpoints, there's either.
Can you take us to the bigger map?
I'm on the bigger map, but you guys aren't.
Mm-mm.
Mistakes were made. So if you see, Littlewood is here, and Ironwood is just above it. So yeah, you guys are sort of skirting the border of Eberron. It's kind of the reason you're taking so long is you're sort of having to do this
Mm-hmm.
and then come in from that direction, sort of northwest.
Like, I'm using this map ability to my fullest extent. So she's working on like a full map of the continent that has Aberon, the Borrow Principalities, and Torin wherever she can. But she also is working on just like Borrow Principalities by themselves. So like she's spent an hour, I guess, or throughout the day, making her little notations, and she kind of used that old Aberon map to set the border line for this one since they
Okay.
share a border.
Okay, that makes sense.
So 1
Yeah,
week
you can
till
do that.
curse time. How am I looking?
So you guys sort of as you're riding into Ironwood, you take scope of what's happened, and you kind of all worriedly look over at Alira, and you realize that she's starting to lose color. Her skin, from her normal, quite pale, has sort of started draining down into an almost unhealthy grey. You look at her, and you do now start notice her hair is slowly becoming patchy. Like never falling out in lumps or anything, but it's definitely not as luscious as it used to be. Like nobody's gonna call her bald or even thinning, but it's not as thick as it used to be.
Probably look a little gaunt.
Yeah, gaunt and tight faced. Even if you look at like her arms, like she's still strong. Like she's Alira is still built because she's quite a strong person. But you look at her arms, and you know there's normally like the layer of softer fatty tissue around the muscle and bone that started to pull away, and now you can just see the muscle and bone, and it's starting to shrink in.
Now, is
You
she
kind of see
eating
with
less,
old
or is
people.
it just like something that's internally eating at her?
Well, she's definitely still eating the same amount. As
Okay.
long as she's yeah, she's still eating the same amount, unless she wants to say otherwise. But she hasn't felt the compulsion to eat less.
Just trying to. My character's just basically trying to think: is this the curse literally
She
like
might have
a
gotten
parasite?
distracted
if-
while meal times are happening, and someone just be like, "Hey, lunchtime." She'll eat.
And Tony's always been making sure that to make sure his sister is eating. He wants to take care of you all, so he makes sure everybody gets their fair share. Good old Antony.
Hmm.
But
And yet he doesn't help cook.
all he does is he makes his own food glow.
That's not
Light on
helping.
everything he eats. You mean drinks glowing coffee? Yeah. You guys all have that on the 4th day of travel make it to the great citadel, or the once great citadel of Ironwood. You make it through the eastern gate. Sorry, the western gate, because you're heading east. You make it through the eastern gate and through the ramparts of the damaged and mostly destroyed curtain walls. Still using the gates, even though you could just ride through the holes because it's more respectful. And Rivers is guiding you. But you are guided in, and you are met not far from the gates by a very large man and a slightly smaller man. A very large man being Urakov, the very large barbarian man, and then also,
The man that suggested hags have magic. Maybe get them to help.
yep, and then Nasanov Nikovich.
I love how they have matching bear coats.
They used to have matching last names.
Yeah, apart from that.
They also have almost the same.
Hey, now
Dance.
wait a
It's the same
second.
character.
Is this Nikovich the same person that like they had another brother that AWOL'd or whatever?
Got ordained that we saw.
Isn't he the one that left though?
Nasanov is the one that got ordained. He has not left.
Okay.
Nasanov is Urakov's son.
Oh.
See, the way you said it is that we've seen one person go AWOL, not one
Yeah.
person
Oh
get
no,
ordained.
I did. I
We've only seen
You
one
have seen
person
some
get
people.
ordained.
Yeah, one person got ordained. But no, Nasanov and Urkanov, so alike in their stance and appearance, with the only difference being that Nasanov is just a smaller version of his father with a few less scars and a less impressive bear coat.
A little more attractive though. Sorry. That was me talking, not my character.
Yeah, you are met by them. You're also met by Mervyn, who is sort of like the operational manager of everything, who deals with high-ranking problems and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And the leader of the order, Sir Jerton.
Oh.
I love how they have multiple head options.
Right? Just kind of something that popped up.
Hmm.
Yeah. They greet you at the door, on the path in from the gate. Sorry, got my voice. And yes, Urikov, who stands about as tall as you guys sit in your horses, is like greeting you, and he says, welcome back. It is good you have arrived.
Except
We
for the
have
moose.
we have word to talk. Yes, come. And Sir Jerton sort of puts his hand up and says, "My good man, this is not time for games. Problems have arisen. Things must be dealt with. Adia, your teacher has responded for us. She is on her way and will arrive within the end of the week, and provided she has no delays.
That's good to hear.
Rivers, yeah. Rivers, I need your report up in my office as soon as possible. We need to understand what happened and why in more detail. And for the rest of you, I need you to stable your horses, return to your barracks, and rest after your journey. If we can get this curse business sorted over and done with soon, we have decided already that your ordaining will go ahead after the reports we have heard from various people we have had watching. But we will make sure the curse is lifted first, as we don't want to have any issues arising." And he kind of nods and then turns and departs without another word.
I'm gonna go take a nap.
As soon as Alira leaves, she'll turn to Rivers and be like, "Would you mind passing on the information about the potion, just in case there are delays? And I don't know. The end of the week is cutting it close, and it might be safer to sedate her when it gets closer to time."
I will. I'll let him know. I'm gonna go and get debriefed by him and Mervyn. And if they say your teacher's on her way, then she'll be here. She'll be here, and your sister will be saved. Just, well, we'll do the best we can. And he kind of reaches out, pats your shoulder, and then walks off, following the two elder members of the order, leaving you with the two big barbarians standing there grinning.
Both probably as tall as Anora, I'm assuming.
Nasanov is as tall as Honora is. Urakov is, as I say, he's like pushed 7 foot, 7'3".
God, I got a crick in my neck from all these people I have to look up to.
Right? He's literally like 2 foot taller than you.
Literally.
But he he turns to you and Nora, and they both sort of give you a grin and say, you are back. We've missed you in the fighting pits. You should come to the arena when you are ready. Let's see what you have learned on your travels. If you are,
Yeah, I haven't leveled
still
up yet,
interested.
so technically I haven't really learned a whole lot. Like, I'm still level 4, don't have my second attack. So, know.
They are, maybe they're offering to do a little bit of training with
Yes,
you.
no, I know. I'm just fucking around.
If you were still, I can't remember if you were still interested in that kind of level or if you were set on the ranger level. So
Did I say I was gonna take ranger?
you were umming and ahhing between ranger and barbarian depending on which way you wanted to take your character. From as far as I was aware.
Man.
As far as I was aware, that's why you did the whole wisdom swap, so you could go ranger.
You know when you have a migraine and you become photosensitive?
Yes.
Yeah, Lyra's gonna go find a dark place to take a nap.
Yeah. You go to your room and it's a fairly small, sparse,
It's just
barracks room.
Cover the window.
Yeah. Blankets up on the windows.
Now, is I know we have the barracks. Do we have just like an open barracks that has a bunch of different beds, or is it individual rooms?
Because of the low numbers of recruits, you guys have gotten very lucky and you're allowed to use the individual rooms. There is slightly further down a sort of bulk barracks where it's all, conjoined, but you guys have individual rooms. They're only like 10 foot by 10 foot, but
Yeah.
it's a room.
I think we were
And it has.
staying in the common ones because when we woke up that one morning for our first session, we were all
Were
there.
you?
Yeah,
Were you?
yeah. Because it was like Rivers came in for inspection and my bed was all like
Oh yeah, he
pristine.
did. Oh, it's been so long. It's been like 4 months since we started this.
Keen mind. Um,
Yeah, then
I have the
you
feet in real life,
inst-
but instead of
instead
going
of
for my
going to
usual bed, I
those,
go for one of the private rooms.
yeah, you go to one of the private rooms. That's yeah. But you guys go. You can rest. You can do whatever you need to do.
Did they
Adia,
have?
is it?
Sorry, go ahead.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to ask if they had a library. I couldn't remember if we discussed that or not.
I mean, they have books and they have like some places to read it. Describing it as a library would be quite flattering. Remember, this is a ruined fortress. Like
Mm-hmm.
if you what they have that would be of interest to you is mostly you're not allowed to read it yet because you're not
Mm-hmm.
ordained, and
I've
what they allow
probably
isn't available.
spending a couple years here. I probably have already read every book I'm allowed to read.
Pretty much. You little nerdy bookworm. They even
Yeah.
imported a couple of extra books just to try and tell you to shut up.
You probably have like extra books of your own that you kept here that you didn't bring on your journey that you're probably just pouring over in case you miss something, some sort of information to try to help me.
Definitely, that's what she's doing. She's definitely trying to be as productive as possible.
hmm And you do so. Uh, Antony goes off to the small shrine he built for his god. He's that kind of person. He's found an abandoned room that's somewhat open to the sky and has made a small shrine that he prays at and maintains. And he goes there to seek inspiration. Honora, while your sister's being a book nerd, your other sister's asleep, and your brother's being a Bible basher, what are you doing?
Fighting.
Okay. So you
Fight is gonna fight.
Fight is gonna fight.
you take a moment and you know settle back in, but shortly you feel the itch to return to the fighting pits to do a square off against one of your trainers. And you do find both of the Nikotoviches there.
Is there?
Nasanov has stripped
Sorry
off to the waist and
sorry to
is.
interrupt, but is there
Go ahead.
somebody in this organization right now who can teach me Ranger?
Yeah, Mervin. If you
Cool.
wanted, Mervin could teach you full ranger skills if you'd like. Uh, if you're interested in that, you would have to seek him out and ask for private lessons.
Not later, but right now she just wants a bunch of people.
Okay. Yeah. I say Nasanov has stripped to the waist and is flexing, and is like grappling with his dad, doing barbarian fighting shenanigans. They see you joining, and like Urkov does this whole turn where he gets his son under his armpit, and like they both would reach out and wave as they see you coming.
Wholesome
Ah,
barbarians.
wholesome barbarians. Honor, you have come to join us. What have you been through recently then? What would you like to practice? How can we help?
Hmm.
You wish hand to hand, weapon to weapon? Beating up a practice dummy? Beating up my dummy son?
You
Yes,
said beat up on a practice dummy twice.
You do hear a solid thump that sounds like Nasanov has just slapped his dad on the back.
Hand to hand.
Okay. Okay. Go clean yourself up, and he like pushes his son, and Nasanov goes flying. Come on into the ring then. We'll see what happens. We will. Okay. And you step into the ring, I assume.
Yes.
Weapon thrown, weapon planted to the side, and Urikov stands, and you see him roll his shoulders, and there are some very loud clicks and cracks as various bones pop in and out of joint from the muscles moving them too far. Just at the sheer mass on this man. He says, "No, this is the. Do you remember your techniques, or should I take you through the steps again?"
I remember the moves. I just want practice.
Okay. So he steps forwards, and you two begin to spar, trading blows first, just aimed punches for hands before descending into a full melee between the two of you. Grapples being thrown. He at times just lifts you by the shoulders and stuff. Fuck off! Don't pop out Roll20 chat, you cunt.
X to skip tutorial.
Yeah. So you spend your times, and you know, everything that's happened. You start feeling better doing this. This is something you know. This is something you can understand. It gives you something to focus on and focus your emotions towards, and you feel yourself getting more into this hand-to-hand fighting and enjoying the action of fighting against Urkanov. Roll me just a strength straight check to see how it goes. Okay.
Also, I love
Oof.
how we're still in nature. It's providing the right amount of ASMR for me.
See? You actually seem to start getting the upper hand over Urkanov as you go. Even though you've got a +3 and he's got a +7.
I definitely see Honor's hand-to-hand fighting style just being like straight up like American style boxing. So it's like hands up pretty close, and just like a lot of like quick punches.
Mhm. Whereas Urkanov is very much a slow titan, but you know if he ever connects with one of those wild haymakers he's throwing, you're fucking going that way. You're gonna end up in that wall over there if he ever lands, but he doesn't
I
manage
just
to land.
imagine his fighting style being Zangief from Street Fighter.
Pretty much. Pretty much. Yeah, but that's what happens, and you begin to spar and train and enjoy the physical action and the ability to focus yourself more on the motions of the actions. And going back to Adya, as you go through your books and stuff, you actually go through one of the books you haven't read as often as the others. It was a small tome that you've read a few times cover to cover, but never really focused too much on, as it didn't interest you as much. This time you open it and you start going through it, rapidly speed reading it to the back because you can, and it's only like 60 pages long. And then as you get to the final page and you open it, something falls out.
Okay, I look
It's
to
a
see wherever it
small.
fell.
You see, it's just on the floor down next to you. It's a small sheet of paper, two sheets of paper that are just sort of folded against each other.
Cuckoo, cuckoo. I looked at it.
As you lift them up, you see a small message written across the top of one, followed by two spells written out and prepared.
Mm-hmm.
And it says, "Well, you finally got out of my damn house. These are to keep you going in your studies. Maybe when you come back, I'll give you something better. Love, Ophelia."
She kind of laughed, but like it's a little sad laugh. What type of spells do you get? What type of spells do you get?
What spells are you choosing for your level up? What spells are you choosing for your level up?
Oh, cool. I don't know.
This is how I'm giving you your level up. You are gaining
Cool.
2 extra spells. So.
I'll actually have to look through my because they're third level spells. I'm gonna get probably.
Yeah. Yeah. So as Alira isn't here, I can't really do hers, and Antony is doing his praying. Yes, you guys have returned and have all now reached level 5. So Honora, as you are doing this practice, if you wish to take a level in Barbarian, you can learn a level in Barbarian here, or take 5 in Fighter. Adia, you have now reached level 5, so those 2 spells are your 3rd level spells. Antony bulks up a bit more. And Alira will get her level up when she returns. Dun, dun, dun.
Oh, there's so many third level spells that are good. Ah!
Hey Kayla. So
Hi.
we've just hit 3rd level. Just hit 5th level.
Should
I've
we-
actually taken a level
We
away.
lost the level.
No. You missed. Adia got a little nice message. She found it in a book that her mentor had given her, and it was a message from her mentor which gave her her 3rd level spells. And Honora has been brawling. You
I feel like I shouldn't level up until after my curse is lifted.
you get something happen to you as you're curled up, and as you curl into the darkness, you hear a faint sound in the distance, and then hear another replying call, and then you hear the sound of a horn go off.
Sorry, I
A
just
long,
heard.
low.
I heard tower noises, and I was like, "What the?" Sorry. Continue.
Noise. You get a long, low horn, like a drawn-out hunting beat, that calls out, and you hear it from all around. And then the sound of more dogs barking around you. And then you feel yourself surrounded on all sides, yet you can't see anything, but you know there is the presence of dozens, scores, hundreds of beasts surrounding you all around. But it's not fear that you feel, it's more kinship. This is right. This is what you feel is good. You know these sounds. You've heard them before. You've called on their powers. And you hear a voice echo across the area. But as you hear it, it vanishes from your mind. And you almost see a visualization of it sort of reaching you and then being drawn straight down your arm, straight into your hand, and straight into the brass skull. And then, almost as soon as it starts, the feeling of being surrounded by these beasts dissipates. The hunting horns stop, the howling stops, and you're back in the room where you were. The skull in your hand is burning hot, but then cools quickly.
I'm processing. I don't know how she's gonna react to this.
I understand it was
While
I-
you're processing,
I have a
Floof,
Go ahead.
Floof,
yes.
are there like a lot of people in the keep, or is it just like basically the named NPCs that we know and no one else?
There's like the named NPCs plus like there's 5 other recruits, there's 4 other recruits, which may or may not be your second lives if you die. And then there's also like 5 or 6 servants slash caretakers slash a couple of servicemen, tradesmen. So, in total, there's maybe 25 people in the keep that you've met, and yeah, decent sized sort of rogue bandit camp, really. Essentially, what you guys are. But yeah.
Basically.
Anything else, Honora?
No.
Okay, Alira, how are you going on that processing?
I feel like she's conflicted. Like, she knows that there's some sort of sense of loss from whatever that feeling was supposed to be hers. But my precious, right? But she knows something's. I think she thinks something's wrong, and it's more like a depression is settling in. You know?
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah. At this point, Alira, you will not be hitting 5 with us.
I figured not. As I say, I don't feel like I should hit level up as I'm cursed.
Those words would have been your level up, but you didn't hit them.
I really get it when I'm not cursed, or I'm forever a level behind.
No!
Forever a level behind. When they hit 6, you'll hit 5. It's fine.
Ah!
He doesn't like having a crippled healer. I'm kidding. We'll see what happens when the curse is removed. Yeah.
Yeah, we
I
no
feel like
longer
it's
have-
gonna get harder to get Alira out of that room now.
Yes, Crystal?
Well, if Kayla's still, I'm still thinking. So if Kayla's still pondering on that out loud,
That's, basically how I feel she would feel.
so I have a handful of spells that like I want at third level because third level's awesome, obviously. But I was
Yeah.
gonna see if maybe you wanted to be like, maybe your teacher would have gave you this one over this one because of like fucking reason or whatever.
Yeah, if you want to, like, send me, like, a short list of, I don't know, your top 5,
Mm-hmm.
I'll pick out the ones that I think are most likely to have been sent to you by your teacher.
Because you just
Okay.
get 2, right?
Yeah. Like, I mean, I could just pick 2, but I kind of like the idea of it. Like, yeah, this is what your teacher would have sent you.
Yeah, it's more of a, say, I try to give reasons for levels up and stuff. I like it being more thematic. Okay. Yeah, that is your return. That I think the next section is going to take a bit too long, and it's not one I really want to stop in the middle of. So, if you guys are okay with it, I'm going to call the session an hour early. So we're only 3 hours instead of 4.
I guess.
We'll leave you with that, Illyria. Something to think on. That
I've
bombshell.
thought on it. She's depressed now, and she's gonna be alone in that room now, and just like.
Aw. Maybe you shouldn't pick up weird skulls in temples.
Listen, Linda.
No.
Just wait
So it's
till you
been-
hear my response when she's cured, okay?
Right.
When,
Right,
when
that's right.
I will say that whenever, which Adia would probably be studying real late, and she probably would be like transcribing the spells and all sorts of stuff like that. But whenever she does head to bed and she realizes that we're not all in the group barracks, she probably would have sent Maddox just looking to see if, like, between her and Maddox looking for Alira.
It takes you maybe sort of 5 minutes of opening doors to bedrooms and then looking in before suddenly you open the door into a dark room where the curtains have covered, the blankets have been used to cover the windows, and you feel that somebody is in there. And Illyria, you sit up with the door suddenly opening, light entering into your darkened room, and your
Oh,
sister at the door.
she's been sitting there just staring at the wall.
Do you react to like
probably
someone
crying
coming in
just
with
a
light?
little bit. No, I'm not reacting.
Alira?
No response.
She'll telematics to stay in there. Close the door. And report at least back to Honora and Antonia.
Honora is politely pestering Mervyn for ranger lessons.
Mervyn
Teach
is
me your
surprised.
ways.
Mervyn is
Dark
surprised.
one.
Mervyn is surprised at your sudden interest, but he says he's more than happy to take you through the basics, and if you find yourself really getting into it, he might even introduce you to his conclave.
Oh, that's excellent. What kind of conclave is it?
Well,
What
you'll
kind of
learn that when you
conclave
get
do you
there.
want?
Where do I get there?
No.
Good answer.
Mervyn is a set conclave.
I'm joking.
Just like the Nikotoviches could only teach you Berserker Barbarian, Mervyn can
Wait.
only teach you a certain type.
Oh wow,
of
then I'm
Ranger.
definitely not taking barbarian.
Yeah, like they could teach you Barbarian up to then, and then when you wanted your subclass, you'd have to go and find a different teacher.
Gotcha. What if I took Ancestral Guardian and I released the stand energies within me?
Oh my god, calm down.
Alright,
Have to find somebody
let's
to
wrap
show you how
this
to
up.
channel it. But yeah, you find Mervyn. He will happily give you the basic lessons in rangering, so you can learn how to focus your hatred onto a certain type of foe and how to travel the wilderness better. So over the next 7 days, you get the basics.
She like
And take a level of
I'm
fighter.
looking at my skills and stuff and like the channeling your hatred to your enemies is like I'm already pretty good at that. And the nature thing.
You do
Which
get
is
another
why you're
skill
such a
though.
quick study.
Lake
Yeah.
Rangers have 3 skills, and if you multi-class into them, you
You
can
do
pick
actually
one.
get skills from Ranger. Yeah.
But it's only you get in the first level, and it's because you're so already focused on it.
Mm-hmm.
It's
It's pretty
quite a quick study. So in the
it's
next
a pretty natural transition for this character.
the next few days, you do manage to pick up a level in Ranger. So the first multi-class in the game.
Hold on, let's see. Let me take a look at quickly what I get. I mean, favorite enemy and natural
Can
explorer.
we
Really
wrap
fucking
this
good.
up
But
so that I can end the stream?
yes.
With that, we're going to end the stream here, guys. Thank you very much for tuning in to the Tatars server for the Knights Ordained game. We leave with a emotionally crippled cleric, a fighter becoming a ranger, and a wizard that's both sad and happy that she's seeing her teacher again soon.
Oh, have I lost another day?
Yes, you have now
Cool.
we're going to time
6
skip.
days left.
We're going to time skip 4 days forwards.
So I lose 5 days altogether?
No, you lose 4 days. So
4 days
you're down to
altogether?
3 days left
You
before
know,
you start trying to
anytime-
seclude yourself.
I've already fucking done it!
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you have. You fucking. But I mean, it's 3 days before you start trying to find a cupboard to be in, sort of thing.
Alright.
This box is mine.
Bye!
Goodbye,
Bye,
stream.
everyone. Hit us up on YouTube.